Well,
Good work,
oh,
Commander.
hey, roll.
Now that the bonds are gone, I was able to move the flutter into the city.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Aw, that's convenient.
Oh, and the sand's all nice and like solid again. But
Nice.
before I
Sorry,
do
Roll, I
anything,
couldn't hear you. The music kind of drowned you out at the end.
So-
that's a good point, Logan. How did the sand become solid again?
I'll blame it on hard like fire and explosion that solidified the sand into a thin layer of glass.
Oh, that is
or
close.
the best explanation I can come up with is that it's none of your business why.
Or the best explanation that you love using: don't ask questions you're not prepared to know the answers to, SquarePants.
Okay, lady. That was
said
okay. I feel
SquarePants.
bad. That was like, I feel bad. That was like one of my favorite things to do in one of the old SpongeBob games. Was whenever Patrick talked to Mrs. Puff, I would just skip all the dialogue. So it just started with "Hi, lady. Hi, lady." He just walked away.
I don't know why, but the whole like long explanation that just ends with the "who fucking cares." It kind of reminds me. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure pretty much just does that. What?
Oh, cool. That makes sense.
One of my favorite YouTubers did a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but really, really fast, where he just summed up the whole thing, and in one scene,
Story.
you have 3 characters explaining what they're doing at the very moment, and how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. All 3 at the exact same time, and in the captions, he just literally smashed the keyboard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
We
you guys
collected
watch-
donations to help rebuild the statue. It's 1,000 cent if you. Thank you. So yeah,
It
just
is
keep on
2,000.
spending your money here, and let me tell you guys an interesting story about this bastard.
What was
Is
that?
that
So-
really this guy?
The fact that
There you go. 5,000. That's all it takes. But go ahead.
so yeah, once you finish up giving him all your money, asbestos shoes.
These shoes allow these asbestos shoes are lined with thick coating on the bottom, which basically allows me to walk in lava and on really cold ice without taking constant damage.
You know,
or at least it's
it's a
severely
really
lowers
good
the
thing you're a
damage.
robot, because that would kill you.
I'm
Yes.
looking up something really
Anyway,
big,
go
baby.
ahead, James. You're saying about the guy that is collecting donations.
So after you give him all the donations and the statues back, he invites you into a series of races.
Oh, that's why you hate him.
Ah, no worries.
Well, the problem isn't so much the races, but basically, you remember back in the first Legends game where if you go into the
TV show.
the news or excuse me, the TV broadcasting station, you can partake in a whole bunch of racing mini games in the middle of the city.
Monster guys. Yeah.
Basically that's like they pretty much brought those back for Legends 2, though this time they pretty much have racing circuits all across the world. Like you have one in Kalinka, you have one here in the desert, and I believe there's one. I don't think there's one near Nino, but it might be in some other location. I don't immediately remember.
And I apologize for not showing those off.
Yeah. So, here's a funny story about that racing mini game. I thought that, well, much like the first game, you were required to pretty much get the best time on all of them, so you can get a neat little prize or whatever.
Right.
And well, it took me until like 1,000 failures on the Kalinka. It was either the Kalinka race course or another race course.
It's
where I
whichever
learned
one was
that-
snowing.
No, the only reason you want to do that racing mini game is to get more money.
Yeah,
And
it's really all optional.
another thing I found that
There we go.
I think this is also the same instance where I had that really bad, well, I think we already talked about it in the Legends 1, but that infamous little bit where apparently, even though I got a lower time, I could have gotten the best time possible, I was still ranked at number 2.
Yeah, I think it's because like
Oh,
it
that's
was
right.
like
You showed us that. Yeah.
it was like an on glitch in the counter. I think.
Yes.
Where even though you had the exact same like tie or no, you weren't tying.
I
you did beat
I
it, just-
had a time better than that ranking, and I still got second.
Well, like how better was it? By just like a half.
It was
second?
by a couple of seconds.
It was either by like 1 or 2 seconds, or maybe even like 30 milliseconds or something. Let me see
The
if
most
I
I could-
should see
Yeah.
if I still have that picture.
And if not, I'll put it up here.
Okay.
But yeah. So I'm thinking like the most I could think of would be that like 4.5 minutes. Yeah. The most I can think of is that like maybe there's more factors besides just time, like health. Like, unless you took. I don't think you took. It's impossible to take damage. I don't think.
No, it's not. You don't take damage in those races.
Yeah. It must have just been a glitch. Whoa.
You know,
Hello.
Okay, I can't tell if this dungeon is based off of Japanese architecture, hell, or both.
Oh, geez, bombs.
I'll take both.
But yeah, I think that's what it's kind of going for. You know, kind of like a yokai thing, maybe. But yeah, this is.
You know what's funny thinking back on it? This whole dungeon feels like it would be more in place with the first island we were at.
I can see that. All the actual architecture here.
Yeah, I mean, hell, one of the houses we went into was clearly inspired by a typical Japanese home.
Yeah. I mean, as you're seeing there, I'm using the cannon. Yeah, as you're seeing, I'm using the cannon arm because I can immediately knock away those frickin' Sniper Joe guys' shields. Down.
There you go.
There we go. But yeah, we're looking for a giant. Yeah, as Roll was talking about earlier, there is a giant mech.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to call that a primordial reaver. That's one of our big bosses here. And did I also mention a big thing to worry about?
It's right here.
He's big.
It's big, and currently it is immortal.
Well, shit! It is a giant monkey Gashadokuro.
Or it's indestructible. And yeah, I guess you're right. It is based on that. Speaking of the classic Japanese.
Oh,
oh, it also has a hammer.
And it has a knife on its head.
That knife is the hammer.
We should move.
So basically, we are just reenacting a scene from Kubo and the Two Strings years before that movie even existed.
Excuse me, everybody.
I really do
this way.
need to. I was about to say, I do need to get around to watching that. I think that's one of only two Leica movies I haven't seen yet.
Leica movies? Yeah, it is
Leica.
legitimately my favorite stop-motion movie. It is absolutely amazing.
The other movie of theirs I haven't seen yet is Paranorman, for those curious.
Oh, Paranorman is absolutely fantastic.
B and C. I think the final segments when okay, it's not spoilers. Oh Jesus! These floor traps are a thing, and there's no way to kill them. You just don't want to stand on this particular bit of floor, and there's no way to even see their. I think you can do a quick dodge roll at the last second. But otherwise, yeah. Also, yeah, this fire floor is why we need asbestos shoes, because look how much health that took down in just a couple, half a second. He does it.
Those traps are fucking annoying. Honestly, they make you think back to the Venus flytraps from Ape.
Wait.
I need to blow up the console on the other side of the room. There we go. That's the only time I think you have to do that. But I'm excited because we're going to get Mechanic Notes 5, which can be used for something. And in particular, Auto Fire Unit Omega.
Ooh.
Which, when I equip this sucker, it's not the most powerful one, and I don't care, but with this, I can finally fire. Give me the high energy, high rapid. Yeah, yes, please.
Yes.
I can finally fire the great and mighty lemons of yore. Lemons!
And
what
then
did you say?
You hear through space and time, they're not lemons!
That totally looks like a lemon, dude.
No, well, I was going to say, correction. Those are lemon drops.
I was about to.
I
was actually about to. I actually was about to set Matt up for that. It's like, what did you say? Answer me, boy.
So
they're not lemons.
I was saying, I don't think it's capable to be spoiling on that, but with Paranorman, I think the section where he was when he was trying to stop that that ghost, the female ghost, the witch spirit or whatever, in that whole section with the weird how she used this weird black spindly material or whatever on it, all those scenes were really visually stunning to me.
The only thing I got spoiled about with Paranorman, and even then it was more so an accident, is that apparently one of the kids dies.
Yeah.
Tragic.
I kill these guys.
Suddenly,
they're cocoons that grow into these butterfly thingies.
Reaver worms. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, how are you gonna get those in the lava? How are you gonna do that, boy?
Asbestos shoes. It only makes it slightly life-threatening.
That feels pretty painful.
I just love the idea of okay, also I'm gonna go across this big room. Don't mind me, big guy. Ouch. I like the idea of him wearing the shoes he's walking and all of his body is aflame. He's like, at least my feet are nice and safe.
Oh well, at least I still have my complexion.
Now that I think about it, imagine if you were using your freaking roller skates.
This is fine. This is fine.
Imagine if you were using your hover skates in this lava.
Oh no, you would die immediately. No, that's the thing. If you're wearing any other shoes besides these asbestos shoes, it would take literally less than like 2 seconds to lose all of your health.
All
which
right.
is
Well,
why you
talking
just-
outside of a gameplay element, I could just imagine like if you did use the hover skates on the lava, they just fucking explode.
Pretty
Also,
much.
I like to call shenanigans because that robot was in the lava and yet he was still perfectly intact.
He was built for this. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
like this lava was built for me.
The lava can't be. Oh, geez, yeah, like right,
It's
right there. You can
lovable.
dodge roll if you're ready. You can dodge roll
You
if you're
see this
expecting it,
lava?
otherwise-
This lava, they constructed it exclusively for me.
And the guy's like, "For me? No, for me."
Yeah, honestly, that was perfectly timed with you just when that freaking mimic just let itself out.
More
For
mechanical
me?
bits.
It's
That was
like,
for me.
no.
Ah!
And
My weakness.
frying
money.
pan.
So we're running out. Yeah, so we're. God, I can't believe we're actually getting close to the end of this game. Actually, we still have plenty more to do. We still have at least another big dungeon. Of course, we have the final dungeon,
Yeah.
which I will spoil and say is a bit longer, quite a bit longer than the final dungeon of the last game.
And honestly, it's a trek. Like I haven't
is.
beaten this game yet, mostly because let me just say that once I got to that point, like I think I got around to this like the halfway point and found data, but I guess the game didn't take me for saving the data or whatever because I had to do that whole thing from scratch. Again.
Yeah, Data's like,
Sucks.
I don't think you saved your data the right way.
But yeah, no,
Okay, yeah.
I will say before we get to that temple, before we get to that dungeon, I won't say what it is. When we get to that dungeon, I think it is one of the biggest like offenders of the every room looks the same.
Yes.
Even like shape wise, like geometry wise, it all looks the same.
And your map really isn't helpful in that case.
actually,
No,
just
and they add a mechanic to it that like makes it very complicated to like set up to get to where you need to get. Anyway, we're almost able to get to where that big energy reading is. Not this guy, different energy reading. So we're just gonna take this door up here, which is a very simple room actually. We're just gonna turn off a switch. Anyway, go ahead, Hype.
just going back to that expletive you handed to Data, James. Something that I kind of didn't just think about, but just something that's occurred to me now and then. Like going back to the first Legends, Data pretty much up and told you that, yeah, I know everything about you. I purposely didn't tell you, and I'm gonna purposely not tell you until like a designated point in time. Do you think the events of the franchise would have changed immensely had Data just told him everything right from the get-go?
Hard to say really, but I always took it that Mega Man is a character that like by and large doesn't really give a hoot about his past. He just cares about protecting his family and making sure they're financially secure.
Right, and I can see as something with Data, like watching it over. Anyway, we're back at this door that we passed by earlier, because this is where we need to turn off the clocks. And to quickly say my opinion on that, I think I could see something where Data is like, he thinks that we do our best work when we don't have the conflicting issue of what our actual job was. We just go up by our morals and, oh, hey, Vaughn.
It must be real.
And wow, that's a
Even you
pretty
can knock it down.
cool looking Gustav.
Get that rock
Tell me about
It's a
it.
hover
Wish I
Gustav.
could write it. But yeah, look at old Bon Bon. He's promoted himself to a point, Dexter.
Also, that
Get it?
is Bon Bon. I just want to make sure. For some reason, I thought Bon Bon was inside that red Gustav.
Now, you know
No.
That's Tron.
But yeah, no. He's promoted to being a drill sergeant. Or excuse me, a drill head. I mean a pinhead. I mean, look at him.
What do you call a pinhead?
Oh yeah, watch this. Oh yeah, check this out.
I can imagine Tron saying that right to him right there.
Oh, look at that. She's getting all blushy, steamy.
What's happening, Mega Man? Are there more pirates there?
Mega Man?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but they're acting kind of funny.
Funny? What do you mean funny?
Oh, geez, she's ticked.
Funny about me, huh?
I'm trying to remember, has, up to this point in the franchise, have Roll and Tron ever actually interacted with each other before?
You know,
Not really.
physically,
Not,
I
they've never
don't
really
think
been in the
so.
same room. No, they've never talked or been in the same room as anyone.
Blonde woman again? Remember,
I think maybe they learned about the. Well, I mean, considering the fact that Mega Man often talks to Roll through intercom anyway, I figured they eventually got the idea that they were working together or whatever, but it's like they never physically met. No.
But they had to have known enough about him that they had to know enough about him that Tron would know how to like mimic Roll's voice to try and confuse him that first time.
Actually, you know what though? That does lead into the that one demo that was only in Japan, where it basically was a special episode where, actually, yeah, they did physically meet.
Oh, okay.
What do you want?
It's just a shame that, well, we never got it, and was never properly dubbed, so take that for what you will.
Well, you know what? At least it was released, period.
Yes.
So they want to. So Tron needs our help because the key. Okay, beyond thinking like this. Remember how with in the big fire temple in Ocarina of Time, like you had to drop a pillar to be able to access the final room where the big dragon was.
Mm-hmm.
With this, it's kind of a similar thing, except there is a pillar that's blocking from below, so we have to completely raise it from below to open a path above us. So in order, apparently, the only thing strong enough to stop it are these guys. Oh, thanks, Bon. And so Bon, Tron, and I are all working together now to pick up these guys and knock them into the pillar. Which I think this is a cool idea, like seeing everyone all working together like this.
Yeah, kind of makes you wish there were more of this.
Yeah, there we go. She just slams the
I mean, we
thing
kind of
into
had
it.
something similar with those two island boys earlier, even though they didn't really amount to much.
Oh, and be careful. If you shoot Bon or Tron, they will kind of aggro on you for a little bit to like get back at you.
Yes.
Tron does seem like the petty type.
Alright, get it. Thank you. Alright, what was I saying? Also, I'll kind of let you know a little bit, was that I was totally thinking of like at one point taking one of Bond's quotes and just straight up just using a Pikachu audio clip and just apply the filter to just have Bon Bon just suddenly like say Pikachu, because really this game in particular, I think
better idea. Have her say "go to sleep."
No.
In case
But,
you're wondering, the same actress is also Morgana from or Morgan. Yeah,
Cool.
Morgana from
Did
Persona 5.
Also, Morgana's Japanese voice actor is Pikachu.
Yes.
Did they get the English? Did they get the English Morgana to play Pikachu in that god awful "I Choose You" thing?
No.
Who did they get
Actually,
for that,
interesting
by the
little
way?
thing. Someone that I'm sure the internet appreciates and respects wholly for her contribution to Pokemon history.
Well,
Moving on.
hey, don't go blaming her. It was most likely the director's fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, in any case, no, I'd say this game, especially over the first game, and especially over Misadventures of Tron Bon, but especially over the first game, I think Bon Bon sounds the most like Pikachu in this game. Just listen to this, like some of these future
For that
clips
matter,
here.
compared to other games, Bon Bon actually does more than just one thing.
Let's see.
Oh, listen.
All right, that should cut off the flow of lava to the room with the Reaver Bot. Now all we have to do is figure out how to defeat the Reaver Bot, and we're set. Huh?
Yeah, I can hear it.
You know, the more I look at Bon Bon's head accessory, it looks more like a turtle with a troll on top.
Kind of.
And the more you guys are making Pikachu parallels, now I'm tempted to find a comic with Bon Bon in it just to see if Sealy could voice it.
There's gotta be someone's had to have done something.
You know what? I will
That's
say
not a
this,
fanfic.
just because the other day I was looking through some, trying to find some Legends comics to dub. I think there are some, like, short comics officially made by Capcom. They haven't been translated, though.
Nuts. Well, someone's got to, like, there's got to be some forum or like a Reddit or something that could do that. But I am surprised that has Archie ever done anything besides classic Mega Man?
They did. They
X?
dabbled. I was about to say they dabbled in a little bit of X, but aside from that, the very last issue of it was basically just like Dr. Light was like at the time research facility. He accidentally gets zapped by this like chrono energy or something, and that put him in like this short-lived coma, which basically showed him visions of the future, which were basically like the other classic games they haven't adapted yet, and the other timelines, which obviously
Now that the
ended
heat
with a
levels are
really
down-
nice-looking picture of Legends.
Yeah, now the heat levels are down. Now this thing can be attacked.
All right, well, let's get him.
But careful of these energy orb thingies. Oh, and careful of that shockwave. But yeah, anyway, here's sort of our main Reaver boss. It's not the main boss this area, but it is our main Reaver boss. I'm surprised they never did any like sort of even like a manga for Battle Network.
I'm
Wait,
pretty sure there
No,
is.
wait, Battle Network? They did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I know they had an
It's,
anime.
it's called Inti Warrior.
Oh, okay. Because I knew they had the anime. I just didn't know they had a comic. Okay.
Yeah, no,
And,
there's a full-on manga called that they basically just called Inti Warrior, much like the anime.
I forget what was the name of the Mega Man series where he had that weird like animal beast thing, and that was how he got his Mega Man powers.
Star Force.
Star Force. Yeah. Did they ever do any comic for Star Force?
I will have bet they did. Like Star Force and Battle Network are definitely the ones that got the manga treatment. ZX got the manga treatment, and the Zero series did as well.
And that.
But as far as I'm concerned, Legends was pretty few and far between.
Yeah, like, I think outside of the Marvel vs. Capcom series, no one's ever really made, like, other media involving Legends.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try that. It has so much like good world building. It has so much good world building put into it.
I guess it was a matter that it's just too costly to make up for the fact that it's easily the most what's the word? The most
controversial?
I wouldn't say controversial. The most. Okay, maybe not so much the most, but probably the least well known. Well, okay, maybe not so much least. There's a lot of there's not enough people to justify the demand, justify like how much work goes into these games.
Fair.
Fun fact about Star Force: he was also the winner of the I believe he was the winner of the Mega Man Battle Royale from Death Battle.
Yeah,
oh, that is such BS.
I'm still surprised that X didn't win that.
X should have won.
Well, they do have their reasons, but even then, I always say bullshit to their reasons most of the time.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Wait, Dante has beaten gods and Bayonetta hasn't. You have it the other way around.
My favorite part about Death Battle, I mean, sometimes it's first off, you gotta watch it you have to watch it based on spectacle alone and not because you want an actual scientific answer. Because my favorite part about them is that you can see it so often in so many of their parts where they're like, well, we're gonna do this just because fuck. We have this statistic, and we have two other statistics, but we like this one more, so we're going to use this one for this character. And we're going to use this timeline, we're going to use this canon, we're going to put him here and put him here, and we're going to do this just because I like the color orange.
For Bayonetta versus Dante, we're going to use their basic weapons. Uses Bayonetta's basic weapons, but uses all of Dante's secondaries.
From Devil May Cry 1.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the next part where we finish off this dungeon proper.
This conversation will continue. Bye, everybody.
On Death Battle!